I don't know, our sons just both sent us the notes, just said, you can't make this stuff up.
Nice to gender.
I feel like
Well,
it's gonna
after
be.
4 o'clock.
It's not gonna be long until my husband's in yoga, otherwise I feel like he would have sent it to me at the exact same time. I think I sent it to him, so when he gets out, he has something to laugh at. Oh,
Okay, goodbye.
It's like it's
that's terrifying. It's actually.
Yeah.
just
I
terrifying.
just retired, so.
Can we just fast forward
Retired.
for that?
Anyway,
Oh,
I
man.
really just, so maybe I'll take a day with my husband and maybe. And maybe.
Right. I haven't heard
Drive
Lauren.
around, drive around.
And there's an old historical store, I can't think of what the street, it's all about. Although I think people have
We
it.
can. Speaking.
Good tavern,
Um,
maybe, I mean.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. So in the spirit of just being so timely, I'll call this meeting to order right at 6. Could we have a roll call, please?
Chair Slaughter,
Here.
Commissioner Schultz,
Here.
Commissioner Jailing.
Here.
Commissioner Silverman,
Here.
Commissioner Jones,
Here.
Commissioner Coleman,
Here,
Commissioner Lind, Commissioner Siebert, Council Liaison Edens, and myself. You have a quorum. Thank you.
Is Charlie well? Everything good?
I think they're on a trip.
Oh, good. Great.
Yep.
Great. Just. I know, I did a princess cruise there once. It was lovely.
I said this is the biggest, most popular place to travel this summer. It's like something 15 million people are going on.
I thought they were all.
Alaska stuff.
I answered to almost anything.
All right.
Alone is not too bad.
Okay, election of chair and co-chair for 24-25. Now we kind of put out an open call for anyone to reach out to the city.
According to Kristen, no one submitted any names as nominations, so we'll be taking nominations from the floor tonight.
Wait, do I get to keep my job or do I need to nominate myself again?
You can certainly, as a member of the commission, nominate yourself. And if there are other nominations under co-chair, we can do them singularly or at the same time.
I second your nomination.
Thank you.
Please stay.
I tried to send it to you. I wanted to nominate Laura.
Lauren, and Lauren said that
Because-
she would if she.
I would, because I just like having the person on city council, because it's the feedback is so much quicker and we know what's going on. And she can really, I know you guys are involved too, but I just kind of like, so I did try to, but it got kicked back to me and said it wouldn't go through. So I don't know.
Oh.
But I did after you told me, he said nobody, and then when I tried to do it the other day,
Okay.
it got kicked back to me. So I don't know.
And we can, you know, we can push it until she's here, but she had also mentioned to me that if no one else wanted to, that she would be happy to, so.
So we have a
I
nomination.
second Lauren.
Yeah,
We have a second for Ms. Slaughter. We have a nomination by Ms. Jones for Ms. Edens. Is there a second to that?
Well, I thought she was nominating her, so I was seconding it.
Okay, got it.
does she need to be here for us to vote on her, or can we just give her jobs, let her be here, cause I love that.
That's always the risk of not showing up. You get more.
Right.
responsibility.
That's why I'm here. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Like I said, I know that she, like I said, she had mentioned to me that she was happy to do it if nobody else did, so I say we give her more responsibility while she's not here.
So we just tell her, Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Said you
yeah,
do it.
it would turn into a dictatorship, there were no
Right.
seconds, it's just, yeah, absolutely.
Ashley said she was the chair and that Lauren was co-chair. We all just went, okay.
Such
So
a
we
strict
have-
regime.
We have two nominations that have been seconded for co-chairs, Ms. Edens and Ms. Slaughter. Ms. Slaughter, you can call for the vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Congratulations.
Great, love that. Approval for the minutes of last month. This is an incredible pen, Kristen. This is the most
good.
incredible pen I've ever used. in my life.
Glad you like it.
I'll let everyone take a whirl with this later. Did anyone see anything on the meeting minutes that needed to be updated? Anything? That was missed or accidentally omitted? I feel like they always look very good, and I saw that you got all of Lauren's Oh, pregnancy brain, there it is. Abstentions, so. Good. Do we have a motion to approve it?
Motion to approve minutes.
Perfect, a second.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Silverman. Minutes are approved. And we're just moving right along. Do we have anyone in the room for public comment in the Zoom room?
Madam Chair, we have no attendees on Zoom that would like to participate tonight.
All right, no one here, so. It's now we get down into the nitty gritty.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for serving again, and I'll pass that on to Ms. Edens when I see her friendly night at the city council. First of all, the department would like to welcome you all. Send our appreciation to the two police officers who are attending as well. As you know, at our last meeting, we did some updates relative to advertising, marketing, and promotion. So I guess I'll start with the sour note. Obviously, based upon some absences in the Department of Planning relative to commitments and then vacation schedules, we were not able to staff the farmer's market in June or to date in July. I'll extend my personal apologies. That's my responsibility. Made the decision to kind of forego it on the short term as we tried to work through as best as possible, staffing a tent at the farmer's market. Farmer's market has been incredibly successful this year, not this past week, but the Saturday before. They had 54 vendors show up, participate in the market, which is it's just well beyond anything that we've ever had before. And last week, I believe we just had shy of 40. And then this coming week, this coming Saturday, I should say, we'll actually have a Joy 99 out doing a remote from the farmer's market. So we expect a big crowd and that's being promoted. So I expect a large number of vendors. Given the short notice, we will not be there, but I promise you we'll figure something out for July and August. We feel it's necessary based upon how successful or unsuccessful we are that first part of September before the event on the 21st. So my apologies. Saturdays are tough. And, as I say, we are a small staff, and when we have people out for other reasons and vacations, it's just hard. And here comes our new co-chair.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'm a little bit late, but I.
You're a co-chair.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So
Appreciate
kind of,
It was a unanimous vote. It was really thrilling.
Okay.
so just to kind of update you on some of the things we've been doing relative to your all's direction as TID mission members. The fall edition of the Wildwood Gazette has, for the most part, been prepared in terms of the articles. Those articles are reviewed by the city clerk, the city administrator, then they go to the editor, the printer of the Gazette. We, as in past years, have the front page and make the pull-out section. That'll go over all of the things that we're offering again this year at the celebration. I think the key component that we were able to tell people is we're back at our previous location, so no changes there. And for the most part, I think the Gazette articles primarily, which were written by Spansky and Ms. Nager, were very good and we feel really comfortable. Once they've gone through the editing process, we'll send them on out to you so you can kind of get a pre-look at them before they're in the Gazette so you know what to expect. If you get questions, you'll have some answers, hopefully. Gazette, yes. The Gazette is scheduled to be in homes sometime in August, early September. So well in advance of the 21st and give people ample time to review it. Hopefully enjoy the festivities. I also note in the first page of the memorandum that the postcards and posters are complete. We had them down here at the last meeting. We don't have them with us today, but if you read them before you leave, certainly run up and get them. We'll have them down for you. as soon as possible. In terms of the church bulletins, which was an idea Ms. Jelly had, and I thought was very good. We have made the arrangements with the publisher of the bulletin. And the advertisement for Celebrate Wildwood will be in the St. Albert Grove Catholic Church's bulletin 4 weeks prior to the event. So roughly starting, once that would be the 14th, and then working back those 4 weeks. And so we hope that'll be a success. It's the first time we've done it. This year, fortunately, we're not conflicting with your event that was held last year. So hopefully we'll be able to draw a whole lot of people from that particular parish. In terms of the city e-newsletter, we have been promoting the event for some time. Primarily, the focus has been on parade participants, vendors, and sponsors. Shortly here, though, and I don't know if it'll be this week or next week, we'll start talking about the two bands, the child's area, the food court. Typically, we do that with some logic behind it, hopefully, and that as we fill in the blanks, as we go through the months leading up to the event, we're able then to basically give people a very good idea of what's going to be there, who's going to be there, versus just saying we'll have plenty of vendors selling food. We can actually give a specific name. So we kind of build it as we move through July, August into September. So you'll start to see your subscriber to the newsletter, a lot more information showing up there. In terms of the promotions we've been doing, we've sold about 20 shirts. I think I've given away a few, well, probably more than I probably should have, but they're good promotion and people get excited. And we always say, tell your family and friends. So we hope it's working, but we've sold 20 shirts, which raise obviously about $500. So that's good news. We have been doing announcements before each of the concerts. The first concert, the sound person, Paul Finch, was helpful with that, and Joe Caratano was in attendance, our mayor. And then last month, with the band, the lead singer did the announcements, which I thought was very nice too. She did a wonderful job and was very excited about it too, and basically told people, don't sit on your hands, get here for that event kind of thing. We did have the award ceremony for the plein air event on June 18th. We had a nice crowd show up for the event. And as a result of the winners, I think we now have 2 of the winning participants that have signed up for booths. And through your recommendation, they get a half price booth based on their participation in the plein air event and being a singer from that event. I've already kind of explained the farmer's market, my Achilles heel for this month. But as I said, we keep moving forward with all the things that you've kind of prescribed to us. Hopefully, as we've done that, we've got interest in the event and the benefit from all of that. I concluded the memorandum just by saying, I don't know, there's no statistical way to say this worked or that worked. I know that with 20 t-shirt sales, we'll have 20 people probably show up just because they get a meal ticket because of their purchase. And so hopefully we'll be able to gauge that. So the last thing I want to talk about relative to promotions and other initiatives is the scavenger hunt. We completed the clues. There are what we call 21 of them, so 21 locations. We had talked about having the letters so that when people went to clue 1 and solved it, they could put a C. And people that are much smarter than I actually came up with these medallions or icons. And if you can't see, we'll pass these around. They actually have the name of the location. They have it in the Celebrate Wildwood logo, much like the American flag. And so we have like B&B theaters, we have the moviegoers bonus, we have the, Al Foster Trailhead. So we have all of these prepared. So when you go to them, they fit perfectly Out acknowledging Ms. Chansky and Ms. Nager, they fit perfectly on there. And so
So
I think
fun.
we struck on a really good idea.
I love that.
And I will circulate these around so you can kind of see them up close. So there are 21 locations. 21 clues. And this year, we did bump it up a little. Last year, it was just, I think, a simple majority of the locations. You got a t-shirt. We are asking for 15. And part of the reason is just the cost, the expenditure for t-shirts. And then we also thought most everybody that came to the booth last year had done all. So it was just like, oh.
Didn't they get 2 things? Didn't they get like a bag and a, everybody loved the bag. I mean, they were going crazy for that bag.
It's crazy.
That's the least expensive thing I think we've ever bought.
Like when you get your kid a present, they play with the box.
Figure that out, you know, it's like, that's like.
The answers before I go.
So key component of the Gazette is the last page is that tear off of the clues and the scorecard, so to speak. And so that'll be out in all of the households. We have them available here at City Hall. You can download them off the website. We have them in some of the park areas, as I recall,
And why?
and the YMCA. So,
And like, if everybody in the family does it, they need 4. Like, for instance, if there's 4 people, they need 4, right?
yeah, it's not one person in the family of 6 gets 6 shirts.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, we are using your taxpayers' money, so we're trying to be cognizant of that. Stacy and Chris, please add something. I'm sure I missed more than I've said.
Well, we'd like to start it in the first or second week of August because one of our clues is at the back to school party, so we need to get it out there for that.
First week of August, you think?
Us. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I'm on vacation. And I'm coming back in the first week of August, so close.
So we're not gonna be worried about people taking all the stickers at the place.
So then they have,
I just worried about
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some of that. I know that there was a little bit of that, like, we had a historical preservation committee, we had a bunch of like stickers at the last, and they kind of ran into that a little bit, but not meaningfully. People were pretty. Did we run into any issues with the hole punchers last year? Did people take our hole punchers?
well, when they were in a kids park, they were tampered with, but they weren't meant to be outside and things like that. So we did have problems with it. Now these come in rolls of 500 and we were going to not put them all out at once. And then just, and some of them, because the locations are, indoor in businesses,
So, yeah, that's.
they'll monitor them and so.
Yeah, I just
don't-
worry about the ones out in the park or something, but
Mm.
I don't know. We can only do what we can do and you know.
And when we did get calls about that, we were just like, hey, mark it off, put your initials on it. We were flexible.
So if anyone sees like a kid covered head to toe in
Right.
stickers at community park.
Well, can you put something with it that says like, please be considerate of all participants, only take one, just something, not to accuse people of it, but just saying, but we need these for everybody, so please just take one stamp when you, instead of saying, don't take them, please.
You're under surveillance.
Sure.
Just an option to like have them take a picture with an empty Yeah, box.
that's what I was
And
thinking.
submit a picture with an empty box if it's empty.
Oh,
Yeah.
we get a lot of
Selfie.
reports if these are, people do it.
No, so that it takes.
understand,
Yeah, so they can use that as their.
They did that last year. They did that last year.
Yeah, the one on top of the bypass last year there was lots of girls they were hole punching their leaves and we were walking our dog and I was like, you know what? That's delightful. Just-
I forgot, there was one that was hard, and so that was the one that some people didn't get, and they were like, I would have filled the whole thing, but I didn't know what this, I can't remember what it was though now.
That's why I took a picture of this, so I could have some of my answers.
Listen, we only got like 7 or 8 last year and I was like, I know the answers. Why is this so hard?
I made my confession at the last meeting. There were two I didn't know. And Stacy and Chris had stumped me, so it's like. So,
So no t-shirt for you.
Those are really, really great.
It's gonna be fun.
it's just a wildly popular thing and like I say, I hope you appreciate the change and aren't upset about the fact, but I just think doing the little icon with our icon and then putting the business of the location and I just thought it was very creative and I think it's gonna be just.
I love having the business
Could you-
logos on. I think that's.
Did you have people post like on the, like on social media when they fill their card to maybe drum up some more interest? I mean, they don't have to show the answers, but just do, you know, post that they were finished. And maybe they get an extra little thing, like a bag.
We talked with Freddie Ward and Silver Tablet Marketing is doing all of our social media. And then also come July 2nd, we'll have a new employee, our communications manager, economic development manager on board. So some of this will shift to her. So this will be a great opportunity. We'll check into that. I don't like the idea of somebody that's done it, has a good experience, they're worth $1 million in advertisements, so to speak.
Cause I think there were people that were coming up to the booth last year, at least when I worked, that were like, oh, I didn't know about it. I didn't hear anything about it. How do you do this? Can I go do it now? And it's like, no, sorry. A little late.
To be sharing of the stories, because I've had Wildwood like reshare my stories from like the farmer's market and stuff, and that's fun. And I feel like a celebrity.
Well, you said who's who's gonna be at the farmer's market this week?
We're not.
No.
Oh,
No,
who's
Joy
doing
FM, Joy FM.
Joy,
But you know, Joe's always there. Could we not have Joe do a commercial at the farmer's market and just say, you know, hey, our scavenger hunt's gonna, maybe closer to the August due
Yeah.
start date. And Joe loves.
I say, you know, he will. He'll go live anytime.
I think we have him do the scavengers hunt, getting ready to start. So I think, make him do a commercial, and put it on the website. I think that'd be way
that'd
to
be
get
great.
it out there.
We can post those onto the newsletter from YouTube, so
Mhm.
that's possible as well. And I'm sure we can get them on the website. So, yeah, we'll talk with Mayor Garitano. Good suggestion. So we'll add something to the rule, so to speak, that if the medallion's missing, just take a photo of yourself at the location. If there are problems, contact the department. We'll let that businesses know as well as anyone else that has a location on the scavenger hunt. Then we'll get with Mayor Garitano and Debbie to talk about. Let's do this, but we have somebody finishes early, well in advance of the event, how to use them as part of our advertising campaign. So. The farmer's market, which I'll keep harping on for another.
You gotta let yourself live, Joe.
I think we're doing very well as a commission, getting the information out.
I think if this is a failure, we're gonna blame it on the farmer's market. It's not gonna be on you.
Rightly so.
We all know where to point the finger now.
The asparagus and the zucchini, they're the real coffee. Yeah, together, they're green.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
Well, great.
Madam Chairs, are there any other questions on any of the other information? Chris, Stacy, and I'd be glad to answer.
I didn't have any, and you know that I only ever care about the parade run of show, and I'm just gonna talk about it until we're there. But beyond that, I thought everything else was really good. Anyone else have any thoughts, questions around the marketing specifically? Because I feel like that's kind of the important thing right now in this season. Great, okay, I guess we can move on.
Next item, I believe, is the parade. And I provided, Stacy and I have provided you an update. On the most part, we're fairly far along in the process. obviously the biggest hurdle is always the golf course. Did that right after the first of the year when there was snow on the ground, I think. So we got that covered pretty quickly. To kind of update you on just a few items, there's been no further contact with Eric Fox's family. Jill Von Gruben, who is a member of the Wild Florida Society, has contact with Mr. Fox, Rick Fox. And so I just haven't heard anything that's not necessarily bad or good, just telling you that we had hoped to confirm it by today's meeting. We'll certainly try to have that confirmation in August. Part of the reason we need it in August is that Ms. Ward, who does our social media, she starts promoting the Grand Marshals as part of that 4 weeks or so prior to the parade and its start. So we'll let you know at the August meeting how successful we've been. Chris and Stacy were successful in booking the bagpipers. Longtime favorite of our farmer mayor, Mayor Boland. But they'll be back and people seem to like them and it takes the pressure off the police department. Always seems to have a difficulty getting them on board, their bagpipers, but we have some, so we're in good shape there. As you know, some of the items that are ongoing generally are just those things we do weeks. Getting with the Rotary Club and their volunteers and setting the order of the parade, making sure that we have all of the information out. Officer Gelder and I had a conversation yesterday. One of the key things that came out of last year's parade is making sure that we have the sheets with the order of the participants, more of them, not less, more. So the thought is actually we're going to stick an order, the order in each of the cards. Each officer will give them a bulk number. And then typically Melanie Ripator, assistant director, and I do the welcoming and get the information, the number to the parade entrance as they come in. Make sure that there's plenty there if there's any need for them as well. So we'll be addressing the major concern or the comment that came out of that contract. I don't want to steal Chris's thunder here, has been finalized with DESCO, so we have the location. The thing that I've kind of put in there that's new, this more so new than anything is, I'd like to be able, with the commission's permission, and we'll have some ideas hopefully in August, to do something along the parade rather in advance of the parade. Our very first, back then it was called Wildwood Days, 1996, we actually strung a banner across Manchester Road in front of the first City Hall, now which is JT Wellness, I believe. And so that was kind of fun. And you see them like in Webster, they advertise a lot of their events with banners across, I think it's Lockwood. And so I thought maybe we could do one near the roundabout on one end and then down by the Schnooks on the other. So I wanted to kind of run that past you all before we got too far along in that idea. Obviously, we have banners. We can do some banners down there. Not necessarily the sponsorship banners. Something that indicates that it is the parade route. Reserve your spot. They're going fast. Maybe get people thinking, oh, listen, better start thinking about this, you know, that kind of thing. And then maybe do something with Wildwood Christian Church and Deerbergs. So they, Wildwood Christian Church, and then maybe have something out on their lots in terms of signage a couple of weeks in advance of the parade.
Would the signs be double sided?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. At least that's what we did.
You just get them coming and going.
Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna let up on it.
No.
So that, just some thoughts about that. Maybe get, you know, just so, I don't know, you know, obviously Route 109, Route 100, Wildhorse Creek Road, or some of them are more heavily traveled streets in Wildwood. Manchester Road isn't far behind on most occasions. So there's just a lot of traffic on it. And the thought was that maybe that's a good way to advertise it. And
It's
let
also a
people-
good way to let people know it's coming because we had people like driving out our neighborhoods like, what is going on?
Well, the police actually require them to get out of their cars and stay for the parade.
There you go.
Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Give 'em candy.
Enjoy the show or you.
So,
That's our banner.
yep, right there. I bet we could give, if you could give a free pass on a speeding ticket, they probably. I'd love to give- So what do y'all think about that idea?
I think it's good.
I love the banner idea. I think there's some charming things that like Maplewood and Webster and Kirkwood do that we can do. And I am always like beside myself speechless at the amount of people that I've ran into day of that don't know that 2 blocks away that there's a celebration in Starbucks that are local. So you just assume that if you're in the area that you would know and go, what's all this traffic and hubbubaloo about? But there's a whole group of people that could just walk towards an awesome thing and see it, and they don't know that it's there, and it's just drives me nuts.
I think Starbucks actually, to your point, would be a great place to, if we're like considering putting signage over at Deerberg's, like seeing if, I don't know who owns this plaza, but if even a sign right out in front of that drive-through, we hit that drive-through often, I feel like you can't avoid it.
Well, I have really good news about that. The Starbucks and then the nail salon, the haircut facility. That kind of L-shaped building used to be an out-of-town owner. I believe they were in Oregon. R.L. Jones purchased that property and R.L. Jones owns Wildwood Square and their offices are here in Wildwood. And I believe Laura Jones, who manages the properties, actually lives in Wildwood. So we can get with her and ask if we can do something on the property, so to speak. I don't know if Starbucks will allow it or not, but certainly that plaza area.
Yeah.
So.
Here's your chance to make up for the market.
This might be the year we finally get holiday lights on some of the buildings. And
That'll be a discussion for another day
Yeah,
after our
different-
event.
different one.
Now, we're gonna leverage you all to help us with our Christmas holiday lighting event. So,
What, I know we have the celebration signs that we use every year. Would it be nice if we had something that said the date and it's at City Hall? Because I think people see those, I think they always see it every year, but it doesn't ever tell anybody where it is.
Well, certainly, and after this year's event, I think collectively, and I don't want to speak again for Chris and Stacy, I think it's time to maybe freshen up our banners, the color selection, things like that. It's about 10 years old. Those colors maybe aren't as popular as they once were. And so
I think next year we have to have, say, 30th anniversary anyway, so I would think we're gonna have new ones for next year. But I just think if we had just some around, like, where you put all the breakfast with the mayors, signs, if you would put a sign that said celebration this week, City Hall, I just think that, does tell people where it is, or ours in our yard, just say it's this weekend. And if you don't forget to take it out, I think it's the next week.
Yeah. Or if they're still in your garage, your husband thinks it's every weekend. That's really true.
well, as I've mentioned, this year, if we don't have a roadway emergency, we'll be able to use at least one or not two of the electronic message boards. And we're gonna probably put that out at Taylor in Maine. And we can change the copy on that based upon the time frame before the event. So that the week before the parade, we can do something like that.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, the coffee with the mayor signs, they seem to be pretty effective. Patients have been said. See what we can do.
Yeah, just have a few like that, so.
Yep.
Or pro banner, team banner. You need a motion on the banner.
Well, I think there's a question on your.
my question was on a different topic, so I
Yeah.
can make a motion if you'd like, unless it's under 10,000 and then.
Oh, if there's no more comments or questions, the department would appreciate a motion because we are going to expend a little bit of additional funds. So it's always nice to have the support of the commission.
So we got a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so my question was just in regards to the parade, are we still keeping the candy throwing policy as opposed to handing? And my answer is I hope we are.
We had no plan on changing that.
candy tossing, candy underhand tossing.
Yes, and though, and I will tell you from the council side, the year that we changed that and we changed the parade route. The council participants, we got really behind and we didn't realize how far behind we were until the police department said, hey, you're way, you gotta get moving. And part of the reason was because when we were not allowed to throw and we were handing, we got mobbed by kids. I had kids in the golf cart running away with handfuls of candy and their parents going, sorry, and we thought we were gonna run over kids because they all came to us and informed us. And then there was an expectation of every single child has to have a piece rather than just throwing it because they're all around you. And so it did create a safety problem and it created a timing problem. So I just wanted to.
I felt like our underhand
Yes.
toss rule went well.
That isn't a rule though, it does not have to be under.
It was hard to get it on the other side.
That's, listen,
Neither.
that was,
Not if you reach out.
Leslie and I are just not athletic enough to.
I did, we threw it over the roof. all the time.
It sounds like you got robbed.
I did get robbed. And then Don and I ran out of candy at the end of the parade. It sounds like hockey or compatriots.
You were a victim of a
Gang.
crime.
I know, it's that last leg that,
That last leg is.
at first you feel like I'm not throwing it up, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
So
In the corner.
how much candy do we need to bring? I mean,
Like, if you're
obviously a
part of the
lot,
very-
but
Yeah.
They'll eat it.
kids, there's never enough. I'm
Yeah.
sure, but just,
Yeah, last year
Yeah.
Leslie and I each did like 3 of the like big bags and we, at the end, were just giving out singular Tootsie Rolls.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, by
We
the,
made it,
yeah.
but just,
well, I was
Barely.
kind of thinking if there's like chocolate, that's gonna be a mess. It'll be.
Yeah,
don't
they
do
don't
chocolate.
care. They
Okay.
don't care. If it's chocolate, they don't care.
Love chocolate.
I always say. I
When we
always
had
save it
leftovers, we
for
put it in,
that
whoever had
save it for-
leftovers in
Okay.
years past, we put it at our booth. And
Yeah.
we just, and we gave it to, we can hand it out when people came up to our booth. So whatever candy we had left over, the 2 years I had leftovers, we just took it to the
Let's
booth.
eat
I
it.
feel
Throw
like
one.
we
Come
gotta
on,
put
girl.
bouncy balls. I'm gonna infiltrate some Twinkies or something. There's gotta be.
Yeah, we had.
Costco sized bag.
We threw them. My arm is tired.
I think she took out a couple.
I did.
Yeah.
Being recorded.
Parents, I even parents.
In Wildwood, several children were.
Assaulted by a candy bar. Never accosted by a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah. It's the worst when the Tootsie Pop hits them in the head.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I did have some angry teenagers refuse the candy that I gave them and ask for different candy. that
Oh
I
my
had
gosh.
instead.
Whoa.
Slowed me down and I should have said no, but I felt bad and of course rummaging through the bag.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're too nice.
I should have just kept walking.
Keep walking.
Obviously. Yeah, they're on children.
You need a candy bazooka for that.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
would be
It's an idea, one of the, yeah.
listen, that.
We're definitely getting the.
Like I said, I'm either gonna have the world's smallest baby or be the world's largest woman, so. That's gonna,
I gotta look
depend on the
online
movie.
for candy shooter. I am.
Yeah,
That feels like.
that
I-
would be so awesome.
Joe, I'm so sorry. We should turn that around. Just kidding. That was a joke. For the record, that was a joke. Rooted in Wildwood parade themes. I know we talked, listen. Okay, we can't turn it off. Anyways, we were talking about parade themes. I know that we had just discussed some like clarity around themes. I'm assuming that is what your little note is.
Well, obviously, we thought we struck onto a good theme for the parade, and then the seats identified, why do we have 2? Part, I just think it's been, somebody a long time ago started it, I can't even really tell.
It's tradition.
Obviously, next year, I think it's just the 30th
Yeah.
anniversary. So in terms of rooted in Wildwood, I think you'll see when you get the clues, we've tried to basically identify the scavenger hunt as being, this business is rooted in Wildwood. I almost gave away one of the locations. One of the businesses deals with roots, so to speak. So I think Chansky did a very good job of trying to merge the two. And please add a few.
I definitely tried to merge both themes in almost every clue. Just the top of mind.
Goodness.
I love that.
job,
We'll see. We'll see. No one's gonna remember.
And then we talked about the themes have seed packets at the city tent to hand out relative to the themes. And then obviously a couple of our major sponsors, they're businesses that are landscapers, nurseries. And so we're just trying to highlight them and do things along those lines. So next year, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a special year regardless, but it'll be much, I think, the 30th is just gonna be something of, everything will fall into place here, I think, in terms of an understanding.
We spoke with Basiglia's about the suggestion of providing seeds, and they actually order their seeds to give out during the parade.
Oh, great,
So they won't,
fair, yeah.
so they won't be at our tent, but
So they'll hand out seeds during the event as well.
I think
I think they do at their
Yeah,
booth,
yeah.
and they definitely do it during the
At the
parade.
parade.
The reason I asked if it's twofold, if they don't, we could do that at the city tent, and if you don't mind, we'll just purchase the seed packets from them.
Oh.
So we'll do a little digging, no pun intended.
We're getting really loosey-goosey tonight here.
I gotta ask my question, 'cause I couldn't find it in the papers. Do we have those line dancers?
Yeah, I
for
was-
Stovall, I'm ready.
Well, I can attest, we tried very hard to make a contact with Mr. Elsey, Dennis, and his wife owned Stovall's. We were not successful in making that contact. Left messages, how many times did you try?
So I've called a few times. I left a detailed message every time, and then there's a form online that I filled out as a special event to contact me. Nothing.
Well, it looks like
So-
we're going dancing next Thursday.
That's what I was
Wednesday. Wednesday night is the beginner dances, so have to go up there.
So there's that approach, which I would encourage you all to take.
Joe said I'll go
Second
with you.
approach is, Dennis Elsey used to be a captain in the police department, St. Louis County Police Department. Gary Cruz, who used to be our superintendent of Parks and Recreation and was commander of the precinct for 20+ years. They're very good friends. So we'll work through Gary to see what we can do.
Oh, thank you guys for trying. So especially nightlife, I feel like establishments that are only open at night can be hard to.
Madam Chair, that's the consistent thing we hear from the night businesses to our events.
And it
It's
rotates.
just hard to staff their brick and mortar and be here as well.
And then like.
A lot of times those, a lot of times the dancers are like independent contractors, like they don't necessarily, so that would be interesting to know if like the people that they have teach the line dancing, if they are Stovall's employees or if it's Stacy's Boot Scoot and Boogie Line Dance Palooza, we could.
Look on Amazon.
I
see
think
if you
they
can
promote it
find on
as-
Amazon.
Not like she's an employee, but like, oh, we're gonna have so-and-so, cause it's. Not that I go there all the time. I really don't, but I try to and I never make it there. But they rotate Wednesdays, it's karaoke or
Gotcha.
the beginner line dancing. Thursday nights is regular line dancing, which if you've never gone to beginner, I do not suggest you go there because you'll be overwhelmed. But they promote it as like, I can't remember the lady's name, but they're like, oh, it's being taught by, so.
Yeah, that's how it is in Texas and there's like
So-
big like names that you know, so I guess
Yeah.
if we can't, if,
See what we can do.
yeah, if the lines of communication feel closed, maybe reaching out directly.
Like I say, and this is just the benefit of you having to listen to me, is years and years ago, we had a concert. The band was the Voodoo Blues something, and Mr. Johnson, who was famous around the area. Well, they showed up with no sound equipment. And the contract clearly said you must provide, and we had a parking lot full of people, and Dennis Elsey brought all of his stuff from Stovall's up and we were able to have.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
Was nice.
very nice, and so he saved the day.
Feels like a only in Wildwood story, just saying.
It is, very much so.
Well, there's another place in St. Charles that we could just maybe threaten them with, well, if you guys don't wanna get back to us, we're gonna
Yeah.
be outside of Wildwood.
Well,
Well, we'll keep at it, but Ms. Jansky made what I could say a major league effort.
Strike out.
Sure.
And we did talk to Paul Finch as well, who's our sound guy, about if it would be okay for them to be on the stage, and he said he would rather them not due to the band changes. So he's like, during that time, there's gonna be a lot of changes, so if you're going to do something like that, if you could do it in front of the stage, would be great.
Yeah, it still blows, they're not on a stage.
yeah, I say, and I can't remember. I feel like sometimes our interpreters are on platforms. Do we have platforms set up?
Glance Staging, the company that provides the main stage and the little riser, they can do this, so. And fourth.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So that's the parade.
Yay, love that. Updates on activities, commitments, actions, movement. Do we have the?
We have some exciting updates for you.
We have
Um,
the thermometer.
we got our first volunteer group, Fellowship of Wildwood, and they were there last year to help us with the dining tent and picking up and just general upkeep over there. They did a great job out there in the dining tent. It was beautiful. So they have volunteered again. We are also going to reach out to the ROTC. They have talked to Natalie about helping at our events too, so we're going to reach out to them. So per her suggestion, they're, I believe, happy to help. So
Natalie is Natalie Back.
Yes, sorry.
Market manager.
So
Yeah,
the
because they-
OTC from Lafayette High School, Eureka? I guess Eureka doesn't have one, so I guess it'll be Lafayette.
I believe it's Lafayette. Because it's Mr. Jaxie, who's one of the council members.
Yeah, they've been at the farmer's market.
Yep.
In the market. They're very sweet boys.
Do we have, does the fire department do the color guard in the beginning of the parade or? Because I mean, the ROTC does a wonderful job.
Sponsorships. So our goal was $30,000. And right here, we say we're at $20,995, but the current update, we're at $22,145. And that is just sponsorships along with in-kind. That doesn't include booth fees or anything else. So we believe we're going to hit it. So we're pretty excited over that. We've had some new sponsors this year as well. So people are really excited to be sponsors and participate. Oh, okay. You have our little thermometer. Toot, toot, toot. So we are hoping, as last year, we're going to explode out the top. We did that last year. Yep, so we are keeping track. It does make us happy. So this says 72%, but like I said, we had a couple coming in after. So we are getting pretty close, so. And as you know, Officer DeGelder and Sergeant Jacqueline are keeping up on our police services. As usual with all of our events, they're wonderful. Nothing has really changed in our other completed items there. Application for participants for parade, we're getting those on the daily. Stacy rings a bell whenever we get a parade participant. This afternoon, so. And we do, let me see if there's anybody. We do have some new ones in here. Cheers, Stable Mobile Fitness, Siglia, Premier Martial Arts, Freedom Cleaning Company. It's a new cleaning company out there that Brett of Premier Martial Arts is now the new owner of. So, and Wildwood Farms Community Garden again, and Lucky Dog Central, who is also another sponsor this year as well. And
If you're wondering, Lucky Dog Central Department issued their new occupancy permit today for district. So hopefully they'll be opening their facility here shortly. Cafe and et cetera.
Oh, one,
Just the road. Yeah, 66.
yeah.
they're fine tuning their recipes. Per Miss Meckler today.
Good job.
Okay, our food vendors, there are a couple new ones. We did get our Staples Barbecue Society and Union Baptist Church, so got those. We also, Yep. They usually do come in the end. Philly Pretzel Factory, another new one. So
Were we able to get in contact with the Mint and Martini folks to see, just to give them a heads up about, they do I've seen that they do a lunch buffet. I don't know if they typically, the sign says weekday lunch buffet. I just don't know if they know about all of the celebrating of Wildwood, just because that feels like it's a great spot. And when it's busy around lunchtime, and that having another place to go is.
well, that could probably be like Milk and Honey and Benedetto's did set out. I mean, we did kind of promote them on our event guide.
Like when Botanica was there, they did they had like stuff outside, just kind of set up, and we
Right.
went over before fireworks, and it was really nice. And so I just don't know if the new owners, obviously Botanica had been through only one cycle of Wildwood before, but they had at least seen the event.
I know I haven't contacted the owner of the restaurant, but the owner of the restaurant contacted our city administrator, Tom Lee, about doing the ribbon cutting.
Oh, great.
Opening ceremony. So I'll just ask Tom to kind of make that overture and
This feels like such a great opportunity for a new restaurant.
I've heard great things
Yeah, I've
about
read
them
really good things about.
next door.
Mhm.
And we do have all the concert items completed on here. Police exhibits and demonstrations. Any update there?
Officer Geller.
I did not hear the question.
Any new updates on police exhibits and demonstrations?
No, Captain has requested that.
Jelly Jump GC contract in progress.
Funny joke.
We have fine tuned them. We have buttoned down the foam parties and all that, and so that will be completed soon. Booth commitments, you'll see there are 26 vendors on there. And we have been scouting farmers market. We did it last weekend and we're probably gonna do it again this weekend. We went and talked to some different vendors out there that we thought were pretty exciting. There's a gentleman that does leather goods, leather belts and things like that. There's Wildflower Bakery. We've talked to her.
They have the best bagels.
Yeah, we've heard really good things, and they were at the tree lighting last year. So
3 weeks in a row, we've gone just for that.
Okay. A girl who does some ceramics. So she had some really cute little items there. So we a basket lady. So we're gonna go again this weekend. We've been talking to Natalie of the farmer's market. And she's really been telling us, you know, this person's great, look at this person, go to this booth, and really helping try to encourage the vendors as well to register. She's been really wonderful with us. I do believe we have one more author since last time. And government agencies, I believe, is the same. And nonprofits, I believe, Wildwood Green Arts and Fellowship of Wildwood are the new ones on here. So we've got them trickling in on there.
You guys mentioned this last time and you probably did, and I just can't remember. Have you been to Painted Tree before? Because some of the farmers market vendors also have permanent booths there. Some of them are, you know, not great, some of them are great.
My next door neighbor has a booth there and I told her to contact you.
We haven't been for this, but we can.
I'm also looking for an excuse to go, so if you would like me to help you in any way, yeah. We have a group.
You can scout, you can scout.
We can go shopping, then line.
Has potential. We'll workshop it. We may need to make more than one trip to really
Right.
understand.
Okay, and we do have the new St. Alban Row and Pond Athletic. We have reached out to Pond Athletic to do a banner there as well. And the banner is being designed, so we've got that in motion. So that's a new one. And I believe that's it.
I wouldn't be sad if you reached out to nothing but fun cakes again. Those are.
They
we,
normally just
yeah, they,
sign up and they
yeah,
didn't.
and anybody who's participated in the last couple of years usually gets an email being invited back. So they would have been invited back as well. So, yeah, there are some new ones. We really would like some, I mean, we love all of the returners, but we are really kind of,
That
On
lemonade
the
guy,
streets.
the lemonade guy needs to bring more people, cause that line was like
So.
bananas.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy.
since we did not limit the food choices, there's other lemonade vendors too.
Ah,
So
nice.
we do have some duplicates out there, like pretzels. We don't wanna tell the pretzel lady yet. I think we are gonna kind of order. Joe. But, yeah, there are gonna be some duplicates this year, so there will be some good food choices.
I think that's fine. I mean, the lines are
Yeah.
long always
Right.
and everywhere, so.
I don't think
Yeah.
anybody complains about not selling enough.
I thought Alloy, the physical, they have, I don't see them on here anymore.
He came today.
Yeah, he's a sponsor.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I've been there 80 times, 81 after today.
Oh, 81. Yeah, we
So-
talked to him today. He already had his sign.
Thank you
Yeah,
for
I-
giving him
yes.
the
It's a
sign.
sign.
Yep, he told us.
They want a shirt real bad.
I know a guy who's allegedly selling shirts.
Well, she's been to the farmer's market twice.
Right.
I'm so, she hasn't seen it.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
Yesterday, the kid goes, I went to the farmer's market.
We're much more civil at the beginning of the month. This is because we moved the meeting, but this is a mid-month loosey-goosey.
This is the most fun I've ever had.
Wait. What you're talking
Oh, yeah, no,
about?
we talk about candy throwing. There's no watersheds here. It's only good times.
Well, it is celebrate. So can we celebrate every meeting?
Honestly. Okay, other considerations, t-shirt sales, and other fundraising activities.
Oh, here we go, those t-shirts.
T-shirts, did you all get yours?
Yes.
Yes.
I did, thank you.
If you weren't here when we handed them out, we can get you one tonight. And actually, the other item is about the 30th anniversary, 30 before 30. You really have to reference the minutes. Because we did I think the comprehensive list of everything that was suggested, and then like assignment from the chair and department. Review the list, and if there's anything else you'd like to add. See, we created a bunch at the last meeting, all of the items identified. So. I'd like to go over that, if there's anything that needs to be added, subtracted.
I think we should add Larry's. Because it's kind of this, I mean, it's kind of
Institution.
definitely a root.
Get a burger at Larry's.
Got it.
Never done that. I'm a vegetarian and I don't think they have a lot for me there, but I've heard it's a lovely burger.
I'm sure French fries are vegetarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never understood the math behind Larry's because there's always so many cars. and
I
it feels
know.
Like it just feels like it doesn't, is there a basement?
It's like Hermione's purse.
They all fit. Yeah.
I
I
know.
used to have a ceiling fan that didn't have blades, it just spun. I remember that, it was so fun.
Let's add Larry's.
We have 39 now.
Perfect.
We only need 30 because it's the 30th anniversary.
We're gonna have to vote.
Pick and choose your own adventure. Choose your own.
Keep adding until we get the final list, then it'll be your responsibilities to kind of whittle it down to 30.
Has this list or the like collection of the list been run by the city staff? It just feels like such a fun thing to participate in. I feel like we've really enjoyed. And it doesn't have to be official, literally a fishbowl with like sticky notes. But I just think it's such a fun thing and I feel like it really gives people the opportunity to think about all the things that they love about Wildwood and nobody knows the city better than y'all do.
Well, maybe we do give them the comprehensive list and then they have to pick 30.
Yeah.
And then we see who gets visited the most and we can.
And they have to be cool. They can't be like, go see this funny fungus tree. So we really gotta rein the list in, you know?
Then don't talk to the arborist.
Cause that's what, it's gonna be the fungus tree.
So,
Subdivisions, all of them.
Yeah. Just a thought.
thank you for the thought, kind of you to think of all of us, so we appreciate it. The other thing I was going to mention is, and I think we might have discussed this, but I don't have it galvanized in my mind. When did we want to start this? Did we say that after the first of the year?
Oh,
or-
I think it's like. Cause when I think of like the 30th year, it's like celebrate Wildwood to celebrate Wildwood. That feels like our calendar year.
Right.
So even if it's not like fully realized and ready to press send on that Saturday, because I feel like you guys will be a little busy, even just the like coming soon, it's happening of it all, and then quickly after, if, again, possible, because I know that's a busy time of year for you guys. Also, I can help. I'm on maternity leave. I got nothing better to do. Allegedly.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like high
Oh,
capacity.
yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna be bored.
Yeah,
but
you won't have anything to do.
We're both off. That's the thing. Like, if it was just me, sure, but we're both off for 12 weeks. I feel like we gotta get something. I'll send Cam.
Your life is changing. You have no idea.
Can't wait to see how fast those 12 weeks go.
My son just turned 18 and I'm just now starting to not be busy.
So you can help.
So timelines or sequence wise. The event's September 21st. We usually meet right after the event to kind of do that. What went right, what went wrong, kind of give everybody memories. So in October. We basically finalize everything. I'm thinking out loud here. That means we would start in November, and that would give us roughly 10 months. So 3 per month, so to speak. Do you introduce them all at the same time? Or do you do it 3 per month or?
I think I like the idea of introducing all of them in a cohesive list at once, so that if people wanna like dink and dive around, but the idea of highlighting
Yeah.
3 a month feels like, and again, I think we can be strategic about like, obviously, we're gonna highlight the holiday tree lighting during December, but even like, you know, there's several that are like around times, but just think we can, you know, pick based on time for a lot of them, and then
Just, like I said, we've not done this before, and it's a great idea, so I just want to make sure we're right
sure.
from our perspective to you as the commission.
And again, that's a great opportunity for social media too, is have people, you know,
Wait,
I'm doing my 30 and here I am at Larry's.
only thought about launch is it feels like outside of like the back to school bash and Celebrate Wildwood, we don't typically have like a really captive audience of folks until the tree lighting, and even then that audience isn't quite as large. And so I think the idea of, I don't know, is there a like coming soon moment that could be shared? Or, cause I mean, obviously we'll plug that next year is the 30th year. We hope to see you next year. Just, I mean, and if it doesn't work with the timing, it doesn't work, but that's just my only thought.
From what I'm gathering, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, we would launch it at the event. Because we have a large audience. It's a year away, so to speak. It's that year, that calendar year. I don't know if we can have it all ready by then. That's the question.
And that's totally okay too, because this is obviously, so yeah,
But at
I,
least be able to tell people that it's coming.
yeah,
Certainly we'll have, we
Yeah.
could have that. And I don't know if we'll have all. What are you thinking?
I'd like to try, but
Well, we have a volunteer that's.
I'm gonna try.
I mean, yeah, but I also like, there's only so many hours in the day, so I don't, this is a new project that we've added to the scope, so I don't wanna.
do you want to track like It's just their own checklist.
Yeah,
It's not nothing we're going to like
no.
give anything away after.
I mean, I think that can be a conversation for the 30th. I feel like that feels like a future Ashley and Stacy problem. But I think it's very similar to the oh my gosh, wait for it.
Scavenger.
Thank you. I think it's like very similar to the scavenger hunt, like come with your list, you did the 30, and then maybe there's like a slightly different, gift. Maybe it's a 30 years of Wildwood branded.
I did
merchandise.
30 things in Wildwood and all I got was this shirt.
I love that. But yeah, I think like some sort of prize at,
Yeah.
next year's Celebrate Wildwood.
Then from the price standpoint, we've given out hats, we've given out shirts, wardrobe items. We've given out keychains. So think about that. What would be a good giveaway? Something different?
Birthday hat?
Mm-hmm.
Birthday hat for that day?
That's actually kind of a fun idea, the idea of birthday hats.
The mayor has to wear it all day.
He would, that's the fun part about our new mayor, is he would totally wear a birthday hat. I like the idea of like a decently like not high value, but high implied value item, because 30 years is, you spend a whole year doing something. Obviously the scavenger hunt is fun, but that's a, 2-week drive around Wildwood kind of moment, whereas like this is a commitment.
What's the 30th year
Logo.
gift?
I think
Oh, like
a
a wedding
soft-sided,
gift?
I think a soft-sided cooler, a small
Oh,
soft-sided
yeah.
cooler.
Or like a lunch?
I say even a
Thing on
nice,
it.
like, even like nice drinkware people.
We have so much of that stuff, but I like taking a little 6-pack cooler.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I
We've
like
given
that.
out those compliments. The one here was for the plein air event. That would be something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think we should get the logo like stamped into a ceramic glazed ornament. And maybe Wildwood Green Arts could bulk produce it, because those are flat, they're not blown, and then it could be made in Wildwood. Specific with the logo and branding, say 30th, and people would reuse it and not throw it out.
It's true.
I like that.
I think, yeah, just something that feels very special, because again, it's a year commitment, like that's to do it. 30 things is a lot of things. But again, knowing that there's like time constraints, I think even what would need to be, this is kind of a question for the room. What would we need to have ready by Celebrate Wildwood to feel like we are successfully launching
A logo.
The
There it
list.
is.
The list, the
And the-
logo and the prize.
I think a logo would be, so that that's what they look for. You don't think
But I
that's?
imagine that goes through a lot of eyes.
I think a logo's ambitious
I don't know that. I don't know.
for
how the
30
process-
years. We really have someone do the logo.
Yeah, that, and I'll defer to Ms. Edens, our council representative. That may have to go through city council.
Cause what else is, it would be nice to have a decal at all these places, like, Stovall's would have one on the door, I'm at 30th.
I was thinking about, are we doing the bricks at the new park?
Hmm.
I think we should have the 30th anniversary. Anybody who's lived here for 30 years that wants to buy a brick and have a special section for the 30th anniversry where, if you've been here 30
What
years.
if I have a 30-year home loan? I want
Well,
to.
You just might not be in. But I think we promote the brick thing, selling the bricks for the 30th anniversary for sure.
So it sounds like, Stacey, the logo would be a bigger hang up than we think it is.
Oh, I didn't realize you have to get okayed by the council and all that stuff.
No. Ms. Edens, typically, like, none of the little icons we're using for the scavenger hunt were presented to city council, but I don't know, 30th anniversary is it?
Did you do it for the 25th?
That's what I can't remember. I can't remember if I did or not. Like if it was a
You
work
did.
session item and it was just like, or, if it. I don't remember that being.
For the 25th anniversary, council endorsed a special shirt. And then we did a nationwide competition. There's websites. And so we had people designing it from all over the country, and then ultimately we narrowed it down to like 3 or 4, and then I think council participated, or, so we did something special, but council was
Isn't that it?
part of it. It is that, but it was just, it was different, it was a different color,
Sure.
and the shirt color was picked to match the,
Yeah.
What
Okay.
about if we have to have a contest to design the 30th anniversary logo, just for the city, for Wildwood people?
you know, we have a lot of talented people in Wildwood, that's for sure.
I think even if the like air quotes launch is just a like mention of, obviously next year's our 30th year, we'll have a lot of like exciting ways to engage. I think just letting people know that something is coming, even if it's just verbal from the stage and like, I don't know, casual and colloquial, and Joe just saying like, you know, we're gonna have a year-long scavenger hunt, can't wait for you guys to hear about it. You know, hold on to your horses, like just so that when it happens, there's some context. And again, we just have such a captive audience that I would just hate to miss out on the opportunity.
So would it be worthwhile to like, so let's say we come up with a list and then there's some of these locations that could be potential sponsors that we go to them and say, hey, we're gonna be doing this contest, and then if we run it in the little newsletter, you know, we could print the list every month or whatever, and then every highlight certain ones, and they get like, they, you know, they get that as a bonus if they commit to the booth or sponsorship ahead of time. You know what I mean? Tie it together somehow with sponsorship so we can kind of.
Are we doing a new logo every 5 years or mostly every 10? I mean, I realize 2025 is a big deal, but are we planning on doing one 35, 40, 45?
We've done a different logo. Seems at least over the last 15 years, every 5 years. It's kind of stuck with the original for a bit. 10-year anniversary, we started, say every 5 years, we something a little different. And again, that may be a decision for city council. Certainly you all as the commission could recommend.
I did not realize we were doing a special logo. I thought it would be like a similar variation to the shirts that we did this year, like instead of with the flag, there was just like the number. I'm not opposed to a special logo, but I just didn't.
I think right now it's really up to all of you to kind of provide that direction.
I kind of like the contest idea.
I like a contest, and I think that we should have something special for the 30th, just. I just think makes it different, makes it, you know. It'd be fun if someone had all the shirts at the 10, 15, had all the shirts so they could show the different designs, so.
Logistically, Stacy, how does a contest make you feel?
Not before, I don't think we.
I'd like to see what the logo, the original logo looks like first, because maybe that'd be kind of cool. The vintage.
Oh, yeah, do vintage. That's a good idea.
Reissue it, so to speak.
And change the year, that'd be fun. I saw the funniest thing in Cleveland. So if you're a fan of I was just there with family. If you're a fan of Cleveland sports, you know that they've changed the professional baseball team from the Indians to the Guardians, but there's a very specific font. So there are now companies that have printed shirts and they've taken the first part of the word and they've made it look like it was printed tape over top of it. And then written guard and then Ian's. So it looks like it's the same shirt that somebody pulled, but they bought it that way. So I just, in my mind, I just hilariously saw a piece of tape go through on 30th.
So how many logos have there been? Do we know?
Do you have the original, Kristen?
Could you do like a t-shirt that has all the different logos?
It's a good question.
Was this the first one? Or is that just?
That was actually the first city logo. Wildwood Days was something different.
Okay.
Can I see that? Wow.
See it?
Oh,
I remember that.
she's seen.
That's a good question. I'll have an answer in August.
It sounds like logos are hiccups, so I think that's fine if we need to like, in order for us to be in line and, you know, connect with city council. I'm gonna make Lauren push for a second reading in one night.
That's right. I'm good.
So on the 25th anniversary, did it have a date or just say 25th anniversary?
Kind of 25th anniversary only.
I think the date also makes it,
Yeah.
I love vintage t-shirts, so I always have a bunch of my old ones I love to keep.
Again, you are the commission, so you tell us, and then we'll work from that perspective. If you, I think I've mentioned this, but everything that you do in terms of a motion that ends up on some type of paper, not necessarily the minutes, it ends up in a report form that goes to city council every month. So they know what you're doing.
No pressure.
I guess I would like to know if the council wants us to be responsible for picking the logo or do they think they should have some say in it? I would like to, then that's what I think that's where we have to start, because I don't know how that works with that stuff.
I think that this group's a little bit different. So I
You
don't have a
think?
feel for the, yeah, I don't have a feel for the new members, but I know that discussions work best with guardrails. And so if there's limited options presented, that really helps. So as long as whatever you present, you're okay with option A, B, or C being, you know, chosen. Or the other option is, you know, we pick option A as a committee, as a council, do you have any revisions? A lot of times people will say, no, we have no revisions, because they're not seeing options B and C, right? And that still gives people the ability to feel like they were a part of that decision, and I do think that that's a kind of an important part in human psychology. So that would be how I would caution it, is whatever comes out of the committee, put the guardrails on and be okay with the decisions that you've kind of led them to.
That makes sense.
So can I work backwards? So if we're trying to do something on September 21st, I think critical to that is describing what we're trying to do. Not so much the logo itself or the prize, but we want to tell people, here's what we're proposing over the next year.
Yeah, basically like a 4-sentence elevator pitch that can
Yep.
be concise enough from the stage.
And maybe promote that it's gonna be launched, the lighting, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Will we wait until the lighting to launch, December?
That's what we were talking about, doing it at a big event, so.
I think I was kind of following your train of thought. We only have X amount of events.
Yeah,
Most of them are in front of the start of the year. Back to school, celebrate Wildwood and holiday lighting are where we have our largest crowds. So we won't be able to do back to school. We launch now,
I did say this. It's coming back to me that I said this.
so that's
You
why.
can soft launch it in November and like the newsletter or something, but then do if we're ready.
And it gives somebody, like, I think especially if we had physical copies, to be able to be like, you can mark something off right now.
I mean, we could have something, some type of, maybe it's, you know, a postcard with shaped in 30 with the information, something like that.
Yeah.
QR code, those
Mm.
kinds of things that people can start getting the information delivered to them.
So I have to admit that I've never been to the tree lighting.
It's very fun.
So
Very
is there like, what happened? Like, is there a giveaway or any like
It's-
cookies or anything we
It's like
could
a
throw 30 on?
mini farmer's market. How many vendors are there? That's like 15, 10?
We set up about 15 tents and then we had the coffee truck and
It's very sweet and it's very, not very small, but it's like everyone's just around that little tree. And I think the only person who talks is the mayor and he picks a kiddo and it's, people usually stay for 30-ish minutes. It's very Stars Hollow. It's really cute.
So but is there like a cookie that's given, something we could throw 30 on to like promote the event?
certainly in past years, we've done hot dogs. Lions Club participated in that. I really don't think there's anything off the board. This year, we should be over in Village Green for the tree lighting. That's the intent. And haven't done, like I said, we've done food things, but we've not done anything themed to the holiday lighting.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that if we're gonna do this, we need to like promote the 30th part at every event so that it's in everybody's mind that
So
it's the 30th.
so following that, so the idea being from the stage, some amount of 3 to 4 sentence soft launch that feels concise enough, capturing the large group, then completing all of the tasks that need to be done. Come November, maybe in the newsletter, talk about it a little bit, or at least just even if we said something about the tree lighting, that like a fun announcements or whatever to be made at the tree lighting about the 30th, just so that when people, cause I think the people who are gonna go to the tree lighting are gonna go. I don't know that they're gonna come for the 30th announcement, but just, and then we can be there. Again, I'll be on maternity leave. What else do I have to do? I'll be there, passing out maybe cookies. I don't know. And then do the full launch there, and then starting in January through September, do our social media, picking 3 to 4, so the math works. Does that feel right to everybody?
So we're now running January to January for start time.
We're running January to September.
The celebration.
Well, really
When
December.
do they get the first part of the list?
September. Well.
At
they get
September, not
teaser.
December. Okay, all right, then we're okay. Okay.
Yeah, September they get the teaser, something is coming, but like the full list of deliverables.
Well, but you just said they're getting at least part of the list in September.
Well, no, I don't.
Cause a few of these are also very weather dependent, and you're talking about even more condensed time.
I think the tricky part is the logo, and
See, I think you need to be consistent. Whatever we put out, start printing, we should have a logo so it catches everybody's eye all the time.
And if we
And
can
that's
put that
makes it,
logo
oh,
in the
30th,
place
the 30th is coming. I think that when you show it more, it goes in people's brains and stays. So I think the logo is probably, to me, I think that we should hopefully get it done by October, if that's possible.
I'm gonna defer to my expert.
I don't, you know.
Do we want the next meeting to look at the list and kind of say this needs to be in the fall, this needs to be? So we kind of have a handle on when they should be released. So if there's any that are weather dependent, we get them in the right
if we're,
release.
yes. Yes to that.
Are we just making it 30 or are we doing more so they can pick and choose?
Cause you could do something too, where you do all these things and then we vote for the top 30 and put that out there.
I think we should have like 35 to 40 and like do at least 30, because like the idea of like, go to Larry's. That
Right,
there
not
is a-
everybody's gonna wanna go to Larry's.
Yeah, there is a,
If you're 18, you may not want to go to
Yeah.
Larry's.
Yeah, right.
You're not able to go to Larry.
yeah, and just give people options, but
Yeah.
going back to,
I think so, yeah. Okay.
so if we were going to have, I'm just pipe dreaming now I'm just having a good time. So if we were going to have something ready in September, that means we would have to have a logo, which means hypothetically, the logo would have to get reviewed, approved, fund stamped by council in August.
It's not gonna happen.
And from-
I
let's
don't know if
see
we
if
have
the-
to have it stamped. I'm just talking about any paperwork, anything that we want, that's in print anywhere or on like something like that. So I don't know if it would have to be, maybe I'm wrong on that.
We can turn it around quickly at different printers.
Yeah, so I don't think it'd have to be,
But here's the thing is, I don't even know that we need to have it physically printed by September.
Yeah, just.
that's what I'm saying, just when we start put it on.
But again, talking about getting things like approved, so if we meet August 7th and council meets the next Monday, we wouldn't have anything ready for them, and then September, we'll meet right before. And then, so we would have to get it on council's books the second week of September, and then all of a sudden, we're asking for digital collateral the third week of September.
Could we look at getting an email of the first logo to see if that's of interest? And then that could just be emailed to us and we all decide, if we decide that, then that's an easy one.
Lauren, do you think within the working session, you could just slice it between some really like salacious items.
I think most likely just say, here's the logo.
Yeah, I think whatever council agenda it's on, we'll make sure it's done.
Here's a thought. Days. 11th. Next meeting is
So,
seven. We could have a between.
Mhm.
It's a little more convenient for everyone and we can maybe do it a few days in advance. We've got everything ready. We'd like to meet. Get all of your input. The August meeting, we're not starting.
Starting from scratch, yeah.
so it'd be really hard if you to try and do a contest to have someone design a logo.
Yeah,
I think so,
Because
yeah.
it would, if you want to have it done by a certain day. Although I do think there's a lot to be said. People love to be the logo person for. an
Maybe we
event.
could have a contest on the 30th anniversary, have a contest for the new logo that'll be after the 30th, because we won't use the 30th logo on the 31st.
Or even like a t-shirt design using the standard logo. I think that there's like opportunity where we can like kind of ramp up,
Participate.
yeah, a bit more. But how does that make you feel, Stacy, as the logo lady? I just always want to check in with you, because I feel like we always have these big lofty design dreams. So at the end of the day, you're the one clicking the buttons.
I just need to organize this and
Right.
then we'll go from there.
Okay, that satisfies.
Enjoy your
me.
vacation.
Right after vacation, right?
Oh, yeah, happy vacation.
You'll be there doodling on your vacation. I come up with a logo, should be on.
Oh, I made the perfect one in the sand and the water.
Oh. Okay, great. So it sounds like let's figure out operation logo and then we can start to build timelines on.
So I guess the commitment, notwithstanding the farmer's market. Is the director of the department will provide to you a summary of all of this sometime next week. That way, we're all on the same page. How's that?
Okay.
It won't be Saturday at the farmer's
No.
market. Next.
So, not to be Debbie Downer, but what if somebody's like, why wasn't I on the list? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I've been in Wildwood for 20 years. Why wasn't I?
Well, that's not 30.
Well, I know, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's always yeah, we're always concerned about that. It's like, in fact, we don't do things because we find somebody that's been really enthusiastic, wants to participate, but there's two others. And it's like, well, what are they gonna say? You know, do we have to open it all three?
Because the 30 list doesn't have to be here 30 years, right? It's just 30 things.
30
to
things,
do.
right.
Things to do.
So I mean, there
I mean,
could be something,
I think that if and when we eventually hear from people, that can just be good notes that we can keep for the,
31st,
or for the next year's scavenger hunt. I feel like that's kind of the canned language. I'm like, don't
well,
worry,
could the list evolve?
I think if people are, I don't know, enough people are mad enough maybe, but I feel like you'll probably hear from 2 angry people and then can we
I don't think.
Yeah. Okay, good.
put a pin in it
I
and say.
get a lot of negative feedback at work if you for the stupidest thing, so I just wanna make sure.
I didn't know you had a cubicle in Wildwood.
Oh.
Pretty
I feel
poor,
like
but.
I'm always so nice when I call the city and I'm like, if Joe's not there, it's okay. He doesn't have to call me back. I'll see him later. And if he's busy, tell him I hope he's having a lovely day. Always wanna be the nice person.
So most of these locations are parks, trails, public places. And unique. It's when we get into the businesses. I
Yeah,
think
that's what I'm
yeah,
concerned about, yeah.
so.
But then maybe can we soften them up a little bit, like go antiquing in Wildwood? So maybe, I'm not looking at the list. So instead of,
Right, so then you're covering up street.
there's one.
Oh, technically, yeah, they have weird hours. Yep.
Which
Yeah.
one, that little thing on?
On one.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, you know, whatever we, like, I think even you could even get super broad of like, you know, visit a women-owned
Shop.
business in
Or a
Wildwood or
shop,
something,
you
because
know.
there's so, you know, health and wellness.
the
porch has that little. like,
Yeah.
Yeah, sandwich board that says I shop only on days with, N in it or something,
Yeah,
or, you know, it's like, so we can figure that out.
that's a
We'll
good
get you
idea.
a
Makes
summary.
it broad. Yeah, soften it up. Yeah.
All right, our next meeting is Wednesday, August 7th.
It's the first Wednesday of the month.
And Stacy won't be here. She'll be on vacation.
I will be here.
She'll have a
Alright.
local already for us. too.
That's a 6 PM, right?
Yes. Anything else before we adjourn the meeting?
Just have an idea for next year / backup plan if Stovall's doesn't work, and it's partly based on looking at the sponsor list, how our community is changing. It would also be incredibly fun, would be, there used to be in the Chesterfield area, it was a nonprofit that had fitness classes that was Bollywood Zumba. I participated in it. I did like a charity dance for them, and it was probably some of the most fun that I've ever had. And so like, that would be kind of a fun opportunity when I look at how the area is changing, you know, culturally. It might be a fun thing to have some sort of Bollywood style dancing, if Stovall's, you know, is a hard pass. And I can send you the name of the lady that did that. And I've also been to a wedding where they were hired to teach like a massive group of people dance steps. So I know that that's something they do in bulk, and it was very fun and hilarious.
My item was thanks for your input on a good idea, so thank you.
All right, I'm gonna do it. No one has anything else. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Everybody, please, several seconds.
And it's non-debatable.
And we're
That's the
doing
best
it,
part.
yeah.
It's non-debatable according to Robert's rules.
And you know, I'm taking a picture of this.
Who seconded?
I think technically,
Everyone.
yeah, I think technically, yeah, let's say,
will.
Bonnie Silverman.
If you need.
Sorry, I know you actually need that for the minutes.
I saw the sign up, the electric sign up on Shepherd.
With what now?
Oh, hard.
Sure.
Do you want me to?
Okay, so I changed my